Welcome back, guys, to more Pro League here. MVP currently has a 2-0 lead on CJ Entis, and they're not looking to stop anytime soon. We're about to jump into a PvP between Hush and Panic on Deadwing, and this could end pretty fast tonight.
It could. Deadwing, lots of PvPs, obviously, because it's a strong Protoss map. You don't want to send a Zerg or a Terran, especially not a Zerg right now, I feel, with the removal of the Swarm host and... I guess I should say removal of the Swarm host from the meta. The unit does still exist. I'm not trying to spread false information. Sometimes with my sarcasm, people on the internet, nerds get unhappy. Like, he said it was gone. He doesn't know about the game. I don't know.
Let him get unhappy. Whatever,
like,
man.
He said a sport player can one-shot 2 mules. He doesn't know anything. I'm like, guys, that's a joke. But he really can one-shot 2 mules.
Oh, of course.
It's that strong. But I've been having a lot of fun today. These players are really showing up and showing us some cool strats. And you know what? If Panic's got like some sort of sick Deadwing PvP build, I might lose it, man.
Yeah. After what Departure and Gumio showed us, just how solid their play was, how well practiced. That's the biggest thing that stands out to me. They just looked so well practiced and prepared for today. If Panic shows up the same way, I think he definitely could take this one on. Look at this. We got another matchup between the foreigners and the Koreans. I think so far it's 2-1 in the foreigners' favor.
Yeah.
When we have had this, it happens very rarely.
It really does. It's actually quite rare because we don't give our predictions like in order or anything like that. It's like actually all totally random whenever people decide to give their predictions. So
yeah.
Now, as you might imagine, Hush has all 3 of his wins in the Protoss vs. Protoss matchup. He has played 5 games, this season, and. I'm surprised we haven't seen him as much this season as we did last season.
Yeah. Well, the big thing about Hush is that he's like the mastermind of the CJ house. According to a lot of their players, they've said in interviews and other stuff where he is like the build maker. He tells Hero what to do and how to play in certain matchups, especially PvP. This guy is the PvP mastermind, which is the main reason why we all voted for him, I would think.
Yeah.
Here's Panic. He does have some good things about himself as well, doing very well these days, looking really strong. So I think this is also going to be a pretty close matchup.
I think this is going to be really close. And I don't blame the Korean commentators for going for Panic. I feel like Korean commentators are going for Panic for more of his recent successes, whereas we haven't seen Hush play that often recently.
Yeah.
I go for Hush's history, his long-standing history in Protoss vs. Protoss, and his oftentimes almost flawless play that we've seen from him. So
yeah, he's so good for preparing a build for a best-of-1 PvP. Like, this is his comfort zone, and that's why I think he's going to take this game.
I think so too, but no matter what, man, I think Panic is going to show us a good game here. MVP is bringing their A game today.
Yep. This is going to be another really, really close matchup. We'll have to see if Panic can close it out 3-0, or is Hush going to breathe some more life back into the CJ Entis team? Let's jump into the game right now on Deadwing. Down here in the bottom right, in the red, our Protoss player from CJ Entis, it is Hush.
Quiet. I wasn't reading that. Top left in blue. It's Panic. Oh, Panic.
Yeah, don't panic.
Up 2-0.
We had Panic versus Terror in Pro League one time.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Before Terror retired,
No.
but yeah, well, it was pretty funny. It was like a hearty chuckle, you know. You see that, you're like, oh, you know the audible exhale from your nose. This kind of sound like.
Yeah.
That one, you give one of those.
That's like often how I feel when I read like the top comment on a Reddit thread.
Oh yeah.
Of any kind, even if it's like a sad news story, like that's how Reddit is. Like the top comment's always some joke. It always makes me chuckle a little bit.
Yeah.
I like those.
Reddit can be really clever at times. Also really toxic in certain subreddits.
Oh well.
I don't really want to get started on this topic, but
I mean, you're like
I kind of put it out there like. So Hush, he actually gets the favor of the fans here. Could just be CJ Entis fans being like, "Hey, we got to vote for our player to give him some strength."
Sure.
But yeah, I don't know. I think it's That's kind of how I feel about like percentages for this matchup. I'd say Hush is around there over Panic in my mind.
Yeah.
I put it at like 60-40 though.
Yeah, actually, I'd put it at 60. I wouldn't say 67. I would like be a little bit more liberal on that, like 60, or rather a bit more conservative, I should say.
Yeah.
But let's see how this one plays out. We're cross spawns, so like there's basically two versions of this map. It's like big Deadwing and still big but not as big Deadwing, and we're at cross spawn. So we actually see. Okay, so this is one of those things we talked about earlier. We had the earlier PvP on this map. They scouted cross first. In this case, the players are going to scout the horizontal spawns, vertical spawns, excuse me, first.
Well, at the same time, Panic just goes down to the watchtower and then decides to go cross. So you will get a bit of a faster scout here. One other thing to note, very small Panic went for a slightly faster gate on 12. So you will have that Cybernetics core finished a little bit ahead of Hush.
Yeah.
And we actually saw Myungshik do a similar thing. He made the gateway on 11, though, and decided to get very fast tech with it. This time, it looks like for Panic, he's just trying to get a much faster Stalker, chrono boost it out, and then go for the Stargate.
Yeah. So, do you think Phoenix's? I mean, most likely,
yeah,
right?
I think it's definitely Phoenix's.
Ooh, he sees it.
Wow, that's a really huge scout.
He doesn't know if it's Phoenix's or Oracle's necessarily, but I mean, I think Phoenix is most likely with how this matchup has been played recently, especially on this map.
Yeah. Look
Twilight
at that.
Council.
Immediately drops a Twilight Council. By the way, the reason that Panic went, I think, for the faster gates and the chrono boosted Stalker was specifically to kill that scout. I think out here in Korea, like, we're seeing so much cross-spawn scouting because of these players wanting to get in there, especially in terms of, like, Phoenix versus Phoenix. It's so important to get that scout and just, you know, see if he's going Stargate so that you can save yourself.
Like,
and
yeah, exactly. You know, Myungshik even going super far to try to deny the Mothership Core Scout and to snipe that and kill that because he knows in a gas war like a Phoenix versus Phoenix type situation, you want to have that if that's how it's going to go. And it is going to be an Oracle, which I think is in a way smart here for Panic because you end up with you know, the element of surprise probably because your opponent's already scouted you and is expecting Phoenix is most likely. But I think that the blink follow-up here for Hush is smart. Let's see how much damage the Oracle gets done. He's already, you know, prepared. The response to Phoenix aggression and early Oracle aggression is basically the same as keep your Stalkers close to your mineral line, so he's going to be okay here.
yeah, we see Panic going for 3 gates as well, and the blink just a little bit behind this, whereas Hush, he decides to add a much quicker Robo, which is very interesting. We were talking about how, like, that kind of play is falling out slightly because Phoenixes are being favored more often, possibly because of the, you know, the Colossus nerf, but, or not the Colossus nerf, maybe the Tempest nerf, but yeah, this is going to be very interesting. It looks like Hush just going to get that robotic stick out much, much quicker.
Whoa,
and,
quick pause here, and he paused it, so that's usually
yeah,
usually
and
not how it goes, but
looks like immediately gets solved. So
yeah,
yeah.
Maybe a sound issue. I don't know. We'll get an update as soon as we can, but
you can't click the mini-map.
This actually, I have this bug sometimes too when I'm laddering. Like I have to like Alt-Tab 2 or 3 times in and out of the game, then I can click it. But
yeah, it's pretty annoying.
it happens very rarely, but like every now and then this happens to me, and that's like obviously game breaking. Like that's unplayable. So that's like where you click most the mini-map.
Yeah.
Realistically, moving around the map.
We should see a pretty fast return to this game. I mean, like you said, maybe just all tab in and out and then out. I hope it's not like a computer change going a 5-minute break or anything like that. I don't think it will be.
Well, like if that's going to be the fix, though, that's a bit concerning, right? Like that means it could possibly happen again. Then he could Alt-Tab, which is probably against the rules because who knows what tabs he has open on the other screen. Like I don't know if that's allowed. You're allowed to have other tabs out because I know, for example, like in the GSL, a lot of players like have their browser open. You're not allowed to switch, obviously, and refs are watching you, so you're not going to be able to like, you know, switch and like stream cheat or anything like that. But
yeah.
I don't know what rules are in place without that, and I guess that's probably what's being discussed right now as to how to best solve this situation. And you can't really click on the minimap or test while you're paused. So that's a bit of a concern as well, right? Like, you can't really. Oh yeah, you can.
Yeah, I thought you could.
Yeah, you can. Because okay, that wouldn't make it wouldn't make sense if you couldn't. I don't know what I was thinking.
It's all good.
You can't click on any, like any of your opponent's like structures or anything like that, like in the Fog of War. But I can because I'm only reserving PC. I'm pretty sure. I don't know actually. I don't pause very often, so I'm not 100% sure if you still can click on the minimap. I don't know. I know I can because I have an observing PC, and here I can't. But
it's all good. Looks like it's the player's mistake, and they're actually going to give him a warning.
That's interesting. I guess we'll probably try to get more information about that later. But let's go back into this. The Oracle scouted the blink and knows that it's real with that revelation, and
even sees the chrono boost as well.
Yep. So that's a really important scout. The Oracle not ending up being a harassment unit, but more of a searcher, a scouter. I don't know why I said that. Koreans use the word search for scout when you're trying to find your opponent's base. Okay, well.
So we're gonna transition, it looks like, just into a bit of a longer PvP. Looks like both players getting their Nexuses down in similar fashion, but still, the fact remains, Hush has that really great tech out farther along than Panic does. He already has that robotics facility. Panic only putting it down now. But at the same time, Hush is not really committing to much out of it just yet.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this is one of those maps where, like, when this sort of game happens, where neither player has a big push coming or a big attack or a big advantage, like, we have a faster robo versus like a faster stalker count. The faster robo count usually better if the stalkers don't end up attacking. But he's going to add his own robo. He's going to catch up with the Nexus. I would say that in this case, Hush is slightly ahead, but not massively ahead. And especially because of the distance on the map, like I was saying, like this might just be a game where we end up getting to max out armies, and
yeah, for sure.
We'll see how it goes.
Panic, or rather Hush, does get the scout with his hallucinated Phoenix here. Very nice. And Panic will lose that Oracle down there at the natural. Looks like he took out 2 probes, so not bad. You know, got some scouting information earlier on and getting 2 probes. Yeah,
4 kills in total on probes in this game, so a little bit of damage. Not on the Oracle, but just in total. I think he killed a scout, and I'm not sure what the 3rd probe was that I'm missing here. But gonna lose
probe.
This probe's going down probe. Oh, even blinked on him.
I like how he saved like the blink for most of his stalkers, just in case Panic was somewhere out on the map.
Yeah.
Very small detail, but cool.
Always the safest way is the best way.
Yeah.
The probe had one moment of hope, though. He was like, they moved away. All right, a mothership core and a sentry go to kill rocks. I'll see you guys next week when that's finished.
Yeah. We have the forts coming in slightly ahead for Hush. He's going to get that +1 attack faster, and also the robotics bay.
He's just taking the faster techs just because he got an earlier vision with a faster robo and kind of knows what he's up against. He's chased the stalkers out of his base, and he knows that he's pretty safe here. But he's not making an immortal right now, and is instead favoring to. Well, he's not using the robo at all. In fact, he didn't even make a second. Okay, no, he did make a second observer. I'm sorry. But probably just going to be skipping it in favor of getting that faster Colossus now, and possibly even quick range with all the gas he's built up here.
Yeah. Also a faster 3rd base. Gonna put that down first, and yeah, we'll see that robotics bay finish up here, and let's see what he wants to commit to right away. Looks like Colossus. He's got like slightly fewer more stalkers than Panic does, and I think Panic did see that with his observer, so he's like, oh, I can't really put on pressure. Just control the map for now.
Yeah. I mean, this is trying to think of like little details to point out here, but you've pretty much covered it. I mean, this is going to be one of those PvPs that ends up lasting a bit longer. It's cross spawns Deadwing. Yeah. It's going to be a slow build up here. We'll keep you guys posted on what happens.
Yeah. I really like the extra immortals by Panic. He will get a slightly slower 3rd, but who knows if he even wants to commit to that right now. He sees a very high stalker count from Hush. Uh-oh.
Sorry.
Mothership Core going to go down. Really nice pick off there, but at the same time, oh, no, he's going to, he might, no.
I was going to say, see,
commit.
that's the thing. For the same reason you talked about that one Stalker blink earlier, like
Yeah.
that kind of chase is scary to commit to. But that's a big, nice pick off. That means he has to build up more energy for time warps, which gives, you know, Panic a few opportunities for maybe an attack where his opponent is not going to have time warp.
No, or like maybe he hits a certain timing here before it's got 200 energy, so like maybe something, but
He's going right now.
yeah.
He might not even have enough for one. We'll see. Let's see how much he commits to this too. This could just be a poke. His opponent is going to have the range for the Colossus first, but only for a few seconds. So
Look at the macro of both these players. Not so good. Like floating so many minerals and gas right now is Hush specifically.
yeah, I think it's because he just doesn't know exactly what he wants to warp in necessarily, and he's most of his money that he is spending is going into these Colossi. Oh, this is awkward. He's actually trying to bait him out here with the Stalkers. Blinks forward. Now he's got these Colossi in a decent position. Remember, he's got 2 time warps.
Yeah, that was so scary for Hush. So scary.
These little things in PvP at the highest level, it's like, can I force this opportunity? Nah, okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
But I could have killed you if you walked one step closer. I would have killed you.
Starcraft is a scary game, man.
I try to explain, you know, always people ask me, like, why is StarCraft hard? Why is StarCraft frustrating? And the analogy I always use is the Zealot and the wall analogy.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like, if you put a Zealot in the wall, if your opponent makes 30 Zerlings, he looks like an idiot because he can't get through. But if your Zealot bugs out and the Zerlings run in, that's the most frustrating thing in the world. You're like, well, I should have won, but this weird thing happened and now I died.
And then you lost.
And that's
Yeah.
one of the most frustrating parts of StarCraft, and that's like the simplest example. But when it comes to like even PvP move-outs where your opponent tricks you with his Blink Stalkers, and you think it's only a Stalker army, but then suddenly a huge Colossus Immortal army comes from the side, and you lose the whole game because you made this one bad assumption that is just a small Stalker army. The lack of vision and information in StarCraft makes these kinds of moves possible.
Yeah.
But as it is, you know, he doesn't get that opportunity, and we're still going to that longer, more turtley game. Dark Shrine versus a faster +3 and Tempest Tech coming out here.
Yeah.
For Hush.
I like Hush's position slightly more. He's got 1 extra Colossus. He's even adding more cannons, it looks like, at the third base. He's got Archons, too, out. He somehow squeezed those in. It looks like Panic more so committing to that drop harass. You see a War Prism going towards the natural right now while he pushes at the third. Also, something to note, Hush had more probes for longer on a third base that got up faster. So his economy has been better for quite a while.
Yeah,
so.
I think that's starting to show in a lot of ways. His massive Colossus advantage is going to make any sort of push right now very difficult. But on the other hand, we do have Panic getting the double Colossus production back at home.
Look at this drop coming in. A huge Warpent actually going to commit to so many Zealots, but at the same time he's pushing at that third base.
Oh, and the Warprint does not get canceled. And the Zealots are actually just standing here. Okay, now
He had them on hold position to try to kill all the probes, and he gets quite a huge number of them.
13 go down. That's a lot.
Yeah. Did commit to a lot of Warpents, though. So if you look at the Zealot count right now, Hush ahead by 11.
That's huge. With a faster Tempest Tech, it's kind of funny because he's not actually using that. Okay,
There we go.
now double Tempest on the way here.
Yeah. Hush just taking small advantages. He's playing this very, very patiently. It's very cool to watch.
It really is. And I wonder what Panic's plan is going to be. We have a Mothership on the way as well, which is becoming a little bit more popular in this matchup. The whole DT Mothership, like the whole cloak idea of like, oh, you don't have observers and now I just win is obviously quite a big threat.
Especially because you need that robotics facility time for other units
Exactly.
that aren't detectors. So.
And that's the reason why we just don't see that many observers.
Yeah.
2 observers out right now for Hush, 1 on the map currently for Panic. And you know what's really weird is on my preview monitor, my colors are like the opposite ones of yours. It's like really weird.
Oh, that's
Or,
really
like,
confusing, man.
Opposite positions, I should say.
Yeah,
but it's like throwing me off a little bit every time I look back and forth. So this is another Warp Prism drop coming in here. Again, he's committing a lot to these because he knows he's behind in a lot of ways, and this is like one little way he can catch up. Zealot Warpins get canceled this time, but he gets a DT in there. Doesn't matter, though.
The big thing about this is that he will be able to cancel that 4th base and move back. But at the same time, he's using so many warpins on this. And look at this. Hush is maxed out. He's got Tempest in the Army and the Mothership. If you look at Army versus Army, Hush is so far ahead. And he could push right now and possibly win the game, but I'm not sure he's aware of that fact. He's just playing very, very patiently, almost too patiently.
Well, this Zealot Scout here lets him know how far along this 4th base has been, and it also lets him see the comp a little bit. He doesn't know exactly what he's up against. The cool thing that he's got going for him is that he's got this Tempest tech. So he doesn't have to commit to a fight, but he can poke, he can chip away, and that's something that is going to be very difficult for Panic to respond to right now because he doesn't have any way of dealing with the Tempest. The Colossus count is even. Archon counts are similar. I'm just trying to like assess exactly these army comps. Stalker counts 7 to 9 is pretty negligible Stalkers, and there's a Mothership. So the Mothership, if the Observer gets sniped, could be a very big deal. Otherwise, you know, it is going to be kind of annoying to fight. It hides numbers really well, and it's quite a strong unit, regardless of what people may say about it. It's expensive, but if you can afford it, it's good.
The swipes from the Colossi instantly taking out 2 of those Stalkers. It looks like Hush was trying to free up a little bit of supply with the Zealots, and he did lose them. Adding in 2 more Tempests, it looks like he does have a War Prism out on the map, possibly for more harass a little bit later on once he loses that supply. But I think we may be seeing that big PvP fight that we always see, the deciding factor, the one fight that decides who wins the game, and it's going to be an interesting one.
I worry for Panic trying to attack into this location, but at the same time, Hush needs a spread. Okay, he's starting to do that. He's got these Tempests, and as you can start to see them blasting out now. Archon's taking some serious damage.
Yeah.
But this is a great little move here by Panic. He doesn't attack, he doesn't commit, he just kills the probes and walks away. He's been trying to outmine Hush. Look at the bank. He's denied this 4th base so much that he's got a larger bank. Using that is going to become a challenge, though. He's going to need to add either a ton of gateways or just keep replacing his units with more expensive ones like these Archons, which I think he is doing a great job of.
Yeah, that's the big thing here. When Hush loses supply, he remaxes in Tempest, so he's going to have a ton. There's not really much to deal with it at the same time for Panic. Just a lot of Archons. They need to get under the Tempest, though.
Yeah,
like, look at that blink. There's 4 Stalkers.
Yeah, there is a massive Archon count here. He's 10 to 6. I think he's going to make more. Eventually, if the Archons get inside, he's going to have a good time. And he's even hallucinating some Archons in here.
Whoa, look at this. 4 DTs trying to come in here and do some harass damage, but at the same time, Panic cannot attack.
With +3, DTs actually do pretty well against Stalkers. All right, he's actually getting close to those Tempests, and that's a lot of Archons here. This is not a good situation if he can get those Archons underneath, but not enough. And
yeah, so many great snipes on all the Colossi, too. All the energy from the Mothership Core as well from Panic was just used, and it does go down.
I'm actually just watching right now on my monitor the vision here of Panic, like what he can see and what he can't see. He has 1 Observer, but it's hard to keep it in the exact right spot. If he gets sniped by a Tempest, for example, a good shot like that, he's going to have some trouble. Okay, blinks here, and now he loses vision.
Yeah, and at the same time with the Observers there's just like no way he can really get vision. Looks like he's kind of intimidated by this army, too. He's just backing off for a bit, trying to regroup himself, maybe decide what he wants to do.
Setting up for a 5th. Taking all these, all his unused probes from his original bases, getting them all together, starting to long-distance mine them, doing a little bit of harass. The ultimate army is going to beat the Tempest one, though, in almost every case.
Yeah, look at that. Instantly tags out a Colossus, goes down, takes out, looks like 2 or 3 Stalkers there at the same time. I feel like Panic's idea of trying to take more bases and keeping this many probes alive and like going for this harass is not really going to help him, because at the end of the day, Hush is going to have much bigger army supply, and he's going to have just so many more army units here. It's going to be insane how many Tempests he gets out.
Yeah, and I feel like what we're seeing here, it sounds really weird to say, but I feel like what we're seeing here is like different opinions of how like late game PvP should be played between these 2 players, because we had an early Tempest, double Tempest come out, and he's been building that count slowly, and I feel like how Panic has been looking at this is like, no, that I'm going to kill you before you can actually get enough of them. Tempest got, nerfed. They're not as strong anymore. And I just, I don't know, man. I feel like the Tempest army is always, with enough patience, is always going to win out. Especially if you've got a Mothership to support as well. Yeah. He's also behind in Archons now, too, at 13-10.
Yeah, and look at this. Even look at the Colossi count of 6-3. If Stalkers try to blink underneath that Mothership and try to take it out and even try to blink under some Tempest, they are going to get crushed by all those Colossi, and even the Archons as well.
All right, he's going to try to take a chance here. I don't know if I like this. He's actually going to go for it. Blinks forward here, chases the Observer fleet as well in hot pursuit. DT's still doing a lot of work over here. This is starting to become a big issue. Oh, the DTs are being killed by DTs, though.
Yeah, DTs with an Observer win against only DTs.
Ooh, Mothership taking some damage.
But at the same time, the Army of Panic taking a ton of damage here, and it looks like the committal is on, and all of this stuff here from Hush is being cloaked, and he's just doing so much damage. A big blink forward from Panic, but all those Stalkers being crushed.
A lot of Immortals at the back of the army here, but now the Zealots are getting on top of them. Trying to kite back here, but the Tempest in the back, they just do too much.
Yep.
And what is he going to remake? He's not remaking anything. He's got so much money, and I think he's not sure what he wants to make. Both players having an insane amount of reserves on this map. 5, 6 to 3. I mean, the DTs like this not gonna win. You're not gonna get one of those freebie DT wins. Not gonna happen.
Go home, creator. You're drunk.
I think he needs to, I don't know, just like commit to a massive Zealot harass or something with his bank. Yeah. He's being too indecisive, and against Tempests that are eventually wearing you down, you don't have time to be indecisive, and now he's just going to end up losing this fight.
Yeah. Oh, we got a Nexus queued up here. A bunch of Nexi coming in.
Tempests, by design, are going to be the ultimate late game unit. It's been proven. We've tested it. We've seen it. Now he has no detection here, actually, and anyway, it doesn't matter. GG.
CJ just gonna get one win on the board at least with Hush. And yeah, Panic, I feel like, just not making the right unit comp. He had no answer for those Tempests, no Tempests of his own. He was kind of stuck on like a one-track mind for way too long, and just like we said, Hushy is so experienced in this matchup. He is now 4-0 in this matchup against very good opponents. And those are all of his wins in Pro League as well. He's the mastermind of this matchup.
Yeah, he's seen a little of everything in PvP too. And to try to play straight up versus him on Deadwing at cross spawns as well, it's like, well, you're going to have a hard time. Yeah. This guy really knows the matchup really well. And it was actually really interesting for me. I've never done this before, and I'm actually going to be doing it a lot more. Watching the first-person view of Panic during all of those moments, especially versus the Mothership, seeing how he reacted, his hesitations, was really interesting for me because I was watching him, and when he was fighting, you could tell the way he moved his units was like, it was almost out of pure frustration. And after he started fighting, he just looked at the battle. He wasn't chronoing his gateways or making units. He was just like defeated. And it's really cool to be able to see that perspective. So that was, clearly I think he was just like, God, I guess I thought I could get in there with the Archons. It just didn't work the way I wanted to. It was a desperation attack, no matter which way you looked at it.
Yeah. Well, we're going to jump into Game 4 here. I actually forgot the players for a second. Who's coming in here?
It's, I'm actually losing.
Biel versus Lucira.
That's right, the ZVZ. I knew it was a ZVZ, but I was like, it's Biel versus Lucira, yeah. Thinking about my ZVZ from earlier with Life. This ZVZ, I think, could be more Rochi. Could be a bit more
it
Rochi.
definitely could get Rochi. It's on the same map, funnily enough. Seems like a lot of these teams right now having similar opinions on which races to put out on which maps.
Yeah, we saw a ton of mirror matchups today, so I think you're exactly right.